Hi everybody, it's Seth, the Mild Mannered Mage, coming at you with another episode of Breaking Boxes. And today we are going to be looking at March of the Machine, the Aftermath. Now this is something new that Wizards is trying. So this is a follow-up set to March of the Machine, but you'll notice the box is a lot smaller. And that's because this is something called an Epilogue booster. So these are actually going to be little blister packs of cards. I think there's only going to be 5 cards in each pack. Let me see if it's got in here what it is. So this is kind of an in-between story. Each booster is going to have a foil and a showcase card. And I want to say there's at least a guaranteed rare. But it's kind of just kind of following up the story of March of the Machine, what happens to a lot of the main characters. We know that at the end of March of the Machine that a lot of the Planeswalkers have lost their spark, and now we're dealing with the aftermath of them now trying to find their spark again or figure out how to move on with their lives. So let's get into this pack and see what sort of goodies we've got. Let's see if I can actually get this. This is the hardest part of the episodes of Breaking Boxes, actually trying to get into the box. Jeez, okay, I think I've got it. I had it. I don't got it. There we go. Maybe, no. Well, I can see it. There we go. All right, we got there finally. Okay, so let's see what these packs actually look like. Well, again, if you can get into it. All right, so here is an art card. And then here are the packs, and you can tell that they don't have hardly anything in them. All right, there we go. So we've got 2 sets, 2 stacks here that we're going to run through. Okay, so here we go. Here's some printing here. Epilogue boosters may contain cards. Each booster includes a combination of 1 to 3 cards of rare, rarity, or higher, 2 to 4 uncommon cards, traditional, full, showcase, mythic, and less than 1%. So there we go. So there are 24 boosters that we've got here, Epilogue boosters that we're going to be rolling through. And I tell you what, I'm going to break this up into 8 stacks since there's 24, and 3 times 8 is 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I've got 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that should give me 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're just going to set these up here and there, and then here's 8 here. There should be 8 if my math is right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so after the break, we are going to go through this first stack of 8 cards. So we will see you in the next part of this video. All right, so welcome back, and here we go into this set here, and we'll see what these packs actually look like and what we can get out of them. Well, if I can get into the packs to begin with. There's so few cards. There we go. I don't want to, bend them or hurt them. And we've got, here comes special guest Coraline. She's just, you can see her paws right there. There she is. All right. So we've got Markov Baron, Kolagon Warmonger, and then here's our first rare card, Sigarda Font of Blessings, green and white and 2 for legendary angel flying. Other permanents you control have hexproof. You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may cast angel spells and human spells from the top of your library. That's pretty nice. I like that. Go good in a an angel deck or a human deck. And then here is our first foil, Animus Smite. That's a fun foiling on that. This spell costs 2 less if it targets. And Coraline just bumped against my camera. All right, and you can see she loves the camera. All right, so there's our first foil, and then here's another foil, Feast of the Victorious Dead. That's a pretty cool art. I like that. And then we've got an incubator token. Okay, so not a whole lot going through in these. So let's get into the next one. Cosmic Rebirth. Again, Animus Smite again. Arnie Metalbrow. So whenever a creature you control attacks or a creature enters the battlefield under your control attacking, you may pay 1 and a red. If you do, you may put a creature card with mana value less than that creature's mana value from you. Okay, so this is pretty nice. So that kind of gives you an extra trigger. That would go great in a Kalia deck because creatures enter tapped and attacking. And you can pay extra to put an extra card out. But it's tapped and attacking, so that would basically for 2 mana double your Kalia abilities for Kalia of the Vast. So I kind of like that. That's nice. I've got a deck that will go into. And then here's our first Sparkless Planeswalker, Kiara, Sovereign of the Deep. A green, a blue, and 3 for Vigilance Ward 3. Whenever you cast a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent spell from your hand, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is that spell's mana value. You may cast a spell with mana value less than X from among them without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That is really nice. I like that. Be a nice Merfolk. No, not really a Merfolk deck, but a deck focusing on Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, or Serpents, so you can kind of double up your creature costs, or your creature casting. And then we have Animus Smite. I feel like this is like the 3rd version of this card in 2 packs, because I have, here is, the regular, here is a full version, and then here's an alt art version. Do I really need all these versions? And I'm only 2 packs in, so that just makes me wonder throughout this whole box how many of these I'm gonna have. I will do a count at the end of this video. And then this is Welcome to Arena. This is just a placeholder card. All right, pack number 2. Let's see what we got. Again, I feel like I'm going to be messing up cards. There we go. Got it. Okay, again, Feast of the Victorious Dead. We've already seen this one. Death Rattle Oni. And another Sparkless Planeswalker, Omnixilus Captive Kingpin, Flying Trample. When 1 or more opponents each lose exactly 1 life, put a 1/1 counter on Omnixilus Captive Kingpin. Exile the top card of your library until your next end step. You may play that card. I actually thought about putting this in my Prosper deck, but I don't really do a whole lot in terms of just dealing 1 damage, so I don't think he would be great in there, but you might could make it work. And then here we have the professor's favorite card, Talarian Contempt. Again, I wonder if they were trying to tell him something. Enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, put a rejection counter on each creature your opponents control. At the beginning of your end step, for each opponent, choose up to one target creature they control with a rejection counter on it. That creature's owner puts it on the top or the bottom of their library. So, kind of fun there. And then we have Campus Renovation. Return one target artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Alright, and then we've got a Thought Bop. And you can hear my dog Frizzle not being happy with Coraline laying down on the desk helping me. So, got all the main players here helping us do this video. Alright, and you can see Coraline right here. There's her tail right there. All right. This is what, pack number 4, I believe? Yep. Harnessed Snubhorn. Filter Out. All right. Deification. Enchantment for a white and 1. Enters the battlefield. Choose a Planeswalker type. Planeswalkers you control of the chosen type have hexproof. As long as you control a creature, if damage dealt to a Planeswalker you control of the chosen type will result in all loyalty counters on it being removed. Instead, all but one of those counters are removed. That's pretty nice for your Super Friends decks. I like that. That's pretty cool. Be some great protection for them. Then we've got the Dinosaur Thopter, the Goldforged Thopterix. Artifact, creature, Dinosaur Thopter, flying lifelink. Each legendary permanent you control has Ward 2. That is very nice. I like that. And then Undercity Upheaval. And then a Night Token. All right. Pack number 5. Well, I guess it's good that I said something about that Animus Smite because I've not seen another one. But again, I'm going to make a count at the end of this. Reckless Handling. Here's another of that Goldforged Thopterix. And then here's Niv Mizzet. Supreme. Flying hexproof from monocolored. Each instant sorcery card in your graveyard that's exactly 2 colors has Jumpstart. You can discard a card and then pay its mana cost. All right. Another Death Rattle Oni and Cosmic Rebirth. And then we've got a Spirit Token. Still would like to see the new Nissa, the new Nahiri, the new Karn, Blot Out, City Upheaval. Let me look at this for a second. 2 green and 1 Undergrowth. Distribute X 1/1 counters among any number of target creatures you control, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Okay. Then we've got a Vesuvian Drifter. Flying, you may look at the top card of your library at any time. At the beginning of each combat, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you reveal a creature card this way, Vesuvian Drifter becomes a copy of that card until the end of turn, except it has flying. Well, that's kind of funky. Reckless Handling. Dranith Ruins. And this is a rare. Tap it to add a colorless. Tap it to put 2 1/1 counters on target non-human creature that entered the battlefield this turn. That's pretty nice. I might put this in my Vorinclex counter deck. That could be fun. And then a new treasure token. All right. Another Campus Renovation. Markov Baron. Jurina Dauntless General. When she enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. Sack her. Humans you control gain hexproof and indestructible until the end of turn. She'd be a nice commander, or there's a couple of Mardu human decks that this would play well in. We have another Cosmic Rebirth, another Death Rattle Oni, and then another Incubator. So I'm up on the Animus Might and the Death Rattle Onis. I got a lot of those so far. And lastly, Coppercoat Vanguard, another Tellurian Content. Oh, Jorel, the voice of Zalfir, human druid. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to one target land you control becomes an XX green-blue bird creature with flying and haste until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Well, that could be large. When a land creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That could be a fun commander. That might be something, working especially with some of the Nissas, to make lands into creatures. There's some fun things that I bet that you can do with that. Then we have a Blot Out and a Kahulgan Warmonger. And lastly, a Phyrexian Saproling. All right, well, that is the first stack of cards from this Epilogue booster box. I have to say, I do feel like I'm a little underwhelmed. There are some good things in here, but I feel like, for the amount of boosters, I should have more cards. But, that's just me. All right, so we will take a short break and then be back with our next stack of 8. All right, and we are ready to move on to our next set of 8. We will grab this stack right here, and let's see what we've got. All right, Reckless Handling, another Gold Forged Thoptrix. All right, Pia Nalar, I believe this is Chandra's mother. Console of Revival. Thopters you control have haste. Whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. There we go. Another foil Tellurian Contempt. And then a Copper Vanguard. And another Incubator token. Another Harness Snubhorn. Filter Out. Tranquil Frillback. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay green up to 3 times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, choose up to that many. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Exile target player's graveyard, or you gain 4 life. Okay, so you could pay 6 for this and get 3 nice enter the battlefield triggers, exiling a target player's graveyard, destroying an artifact or enchantment, or gaining 4 life. And I don't think you can choose one of them multiple times, but I like that. That's pretty nice. Another Animus Smite, another Filter Out, and another new Treasure Art. All right, well, there we go. All right. Another Animus Smite. Another Feast of the Victorious Dead. So Metropolis Reformer. Angel Cleric. Vigi Hexproof. Vigi Flying. You have Hexproof when it is dealt damage, you gain that much life. Interesting. I like the hexproof aspect that it gives you. Get something to kind of protect it. Yeah, that's a pretty solid card. That's pretty nice. And then another Hardest Stubborn, and another Cahogan Warrior, and another Incubator. I mean, I feel like I'm seeing the same cards over and over again. This is only a 50 card set. So I don't even know if I've seen how many cards I would have seen so far. Another Death Rattle Oni. Another Cosmic Rebirth. Plarg and Nasari. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player exiles cards from the top of their libraries until they exile a non-land card. An opponent chooses a non-land card exiled this way. You may cast up to 2 spells from among the other cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. But what happens to the other card? I'm confused by this. An opponent chooses a non-land card this way. You may cast up to 2 spells from among the other cards exiled this way. So I guess, they choose one that you don't want, that they don't want cast, and then you get the others. That's the only thing that I can think of. I would want to look up the rules for this. That could be fun in Prosper. But again, I want to know a little bit better wording on this. Something that kind of helps it make a little bit more sense. But otherwise, that could be fun in Prosper. Another Feast of the Victorious Dead. Another Goldforged Thopteryx. And then Teferi Akasa Azalfir. I believe this is... there is a battle that flips into a Teferi, I believe. And I think it's in this set. Or there's a card in here that flips to a Teferi. Let's see. Another Tolarian Contempt. Another Cahogan Warmonger. Another Kiora. Another Cahogan Warmonger. And another Pia Nalar. Again, not really super impressed by this set so far. Even with the reduced pack size and the small number of cards in it, we're just seeing the same things. I mean, look at this. 2 Markov Barons in the same pack. Another Copper Vanguard. Now, this is a new card. Danthia New Ben Ali's Light. Human Knight. Vigi Trample Lifelink. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an aura or equipment spell from your graveyard. So that would be good for a Voltron. And she could be a Voltron commander in green-white. So that could be a lot of fun. And then another Harness Snubhorn. Alright, Undercity Upheaval again. Another Campus Renovation. Okay, here's another new card. Kenrith's Royal Funeral. When it enters battlefield, exile up to 2 target legendary creatures from your graveyard. You draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the greatest mana value among cards exiled this way. So you exile 2 cards and then you draw a bunch of cards and lose a bunch of life. Legendary spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each card exiled with the Kenrith's Royal Funeral. So you could have legendaries cost up to 2 less. Okay, that could be helpful and give you some cards. Another Jurina. Another Harness Snubhorn. And here is another Knight. And this is the last pack of this stack of 8. And we've got, here is a Blot Out. Another gold for Stop Tricks. Oh, here is a Nahiri. Affinity for equipment. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each equipment you control. So you could get her cost down pretty fast. Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. You may cast equipment spells this way without paying their mana costs. That's pretty good. I like that. So maybe do just an equipment deck with her and just kind of go all out with her. So Voltron Nahiri. And then another Campus Renovation. And yet another Tolarian Contempt. All right, and that is that for that stack of 8. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back with the last stack of 8 Epilogue boosters. And we are back, and it's time to finish out this box of March of the Machine Aftermath. I'm just going to kind of move these up here a little bit. All right. So here is our final stack of 8. Let's see if we can't find a Nissa and a Karn in here. All right, here's number 1. Another Gahulgan Warhammer or Warmonger. Another Cosmic Rebirth. Here's a new one, Open the Way. I like this. Has the art with Nissa holding hands with Chandra. 2 green and X. X can't be greater than the number of players in the game. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X land cards. Put those land cards onto the battlefield tapped and the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. So you could get up to 4 land cards and it's going to cost you 6 mana. I guess that's okay. They do come in tapped. Not the best ramp spell I've seen, but not the worst, I don't think. So it's a little bit okay. Copper Vanguard. Wait, let me look at this for a second. Okay, so you're revealing from the top, so it could hit non-basic lands. So okay, that's a little bit better than I thought. That's a little bit better. All right, and then another Filter Out, and then Elemental. All right, another Animus Smite. Another Death Rattle Ani. Oh, here's a Taziri, Stalwart Survivor, Human Warrior. I guess she's no longer an ally. Each creature you control has tap, add 1 mana of any of this creature's colors. Spend this mana only to activate an ability of a creature. Activate only if this creature has another activated ability. Pay Wooburg and Tapper to mill 5 cards. Put all creature cards with activated abilities that aren't mana abilities among the milled cards into your hand. There's probably some shenanigans that you can do with this, but I'm not really feeling this card. But I'll have to talk with some friends and see how they would approach building this. But again, like I said, I don't know about it. And then we've got another Deification. And yet another Markov Baron. And then there is our Incubator. Okay. Another Feast of the Victorious Dead. Another Harness Snubhorn. All right, Ayara's Oathsworn. Black and 1 for Human Knight Menace. When Ayara's Oathsworn deals combat damage to a player, if it has fewer than 4 1/1 counters on it, put a 1/1 counter on it. Then if it has exactly 4 counters on it, search your library for a card and put it into your hand and shuffle. So once it gets up to those counters, then it basically acts as a tutor. That's pretty good. If you can throw Whisper Silk Cloak on it, make it unblockable, or, you know, give it flying, some sort of evasion. That could be very handy. I like that. It's a tutor on a stick. Yet another Undercity Upheaval, another Campus Renovation, and a Warrior token. All right, and I believe this puts us halfway through this final stack. Oh, and I just hit the camera. There we go. These packs are really hard. I feel like because it's got fewer cards in it, they're really hard to get into. Another Filter Out. Another Reckless Handling. All right. Nashi, Moon's Legacy. Black, green, and blue for Menace Ward 1. When she attacks, exile up to one target legendary or rat card from your graveyard and copy it. You may cast the copy. Okay. So that gives you a chance to bring stuff back from your graveyard if it's a legendary card or a rat card. But you do have to exile it from your graveyard in order to copy it. Yet another Filter Out, yet another Reckless Handling, and then yet another Spirit. This is getting kind of depressing, guys. We got 4 packs left, counting this one, so 3 that have yet to be opened. Another Blot Out, another Undercity Upheaval. Here we've got Rocco Street Chef, red, green, and white for an elf druid. At the beginning of your end step, each player exiles the top card of their library. Until your next end step, each player may play the card they exiled this way. Whenever a player plays a land from exile or casts a spell from exile, you may put a 1/1 counter on target creature and create a food token. So you're benefiting your opponents, and you get to make stuff bigger and make a food token. Throw that Academy Manufacturer, and then you can get a clue and a treasure. I think there's some ways that you could benefit from this. This is in the good token colors, so you can start doubling up on those tokens. Yeah, I think there's some ways that you can abuse this to make this kind of a fun commander deck. Another Death Rattle Ani, another Undercity Upheaval, and then a Soldier. All right, we got 3 more. Still would like to see a Karn, and I'd like to see a Nissa, or there's a Sarkhan. There's a Sarkhan in this set. So let's see what we got. Campus Renovation, Coppercoat Vanguard. Oh, Training Grounds. Here we go. This is a nice reprint. Activate abilities of creatures you control cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the mana in the cost to less than 1 mana. There we go. Another Draenith Ruins. Again, going to put this in one of these cards in my Vorinclex deck, which, you know, be sure to check out that video. Give it a like and give it a comment. I just recently renamed the Deck Tech video series to War Council. So look for War Council Episode 3 Vorinclex Monstrous Raider. It's a fun deck to play. I highly recommend it. All right. Another Markov Baron, another Tolarian Content, another Draenith Ruins. That's the 3rd version of that rare. Another Goldforged Thopterus, another Animus Might, and a food. All right, here it is, the last card of this set. Let's see if we're going to hit something nice in it. If I can get into the pack. There we go. All right. All right, seen that one, seen this one. Spark Rupture, okay, this is something new. A white and 2, when Spark Rupture enters the battlefield, draw a card. Each planeswalker with 1 or more loyalty counters on it loses all abilities and is a creature with power and toughness equal to the number of loyalty counters on it. So basically, you're going to nerf the Super Friends and just make them into creatures. So that's a good way to deal with some planeswalkers. another Reckless Handling, and another Open the Way. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is this entire box of March of the Machine Aftermath. We're going to take one more break. I want to do some sorting and just kind of see how many repeat cards we had and what the winner is. So hang around and we'll be back after this quick break. So I went through and I sorted all the cards and just to fulfill my curiosity. And so in terms of the rare cards, I received 3 copies of this Draneth Ruins, which I think is a fairly good land. Like I said, I'm going to put a copy of this in my Vorinclex deck. On average, though, of the uncommon cards, there are no common cards in this set, I have 6 copies of practically all the uncommon cards. There is Blot Out, which I only got 4 copies of. And then there is also Copper Vanguard, which I got 5 copies of. Everything else I received 6 copies of. Undercity Upheaval, Campus Renovation, Harnessed Snubhorn, if I can get those cards in my hand. And it's all of varying prints, but, you know, I feel like the market is going to be saturated with these cards. Markov Baron, Filter Out. Now, I've got them in multiple print types. I mean, they're foil, alt art, regular art, Reckless Handling, Tolarian Contempt. If I run into the professor, I should get him to sign one of those just for the grins and giggles. Feast of the Victorious Dead, 6 copies of that. Death Rattle Ani. Cosmic Rebirth. Gold Forge Thoptrix. And then the last 2 cards, I actually have 7 copies of these. The Caholgan Warmonger. So 7 of those. And then tied with that, 7 copies of Animus Might. So all in all, not super impressed with this set. I mean, I do like some of the mythics that I pulled from it. I did get multiple copies of Deification, Kiora, the Genera, and Open the Way. All the other rares were single copies. But, I mean, we're just going to get a lot of the same cards over and over again in these sets. So I'll probably, you know, as the professor recommends, the other cards that I'm missing that I want to get, I think I'll just wait and I'll buy them as singles. So I hope that this has been a revealing video for you, and you can make your own decision about what to do with March of the Machine Aftermath. I am looking forward to working some of these cards into my decks and just seeing how they will play. In the meantime, this has been another episode of Breaking Boxes. Again, I am Seth, your Mild Mannered Mage, and I hope y'all have a fantastic rest of the day, and we'll see you next time.